What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today is Sunday and I've got another quick tip for you all about socketing items. What items do you want to socket? Where do you find them? How do you socket them? And what do you put in those sockets? It's RUNEWORDS. Anyways, check out the rest of the video for some quick tips. My name is ConjurusHex. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Here we go.
Want to see something real scary?
Alright, I'm going to get the easy part out of the way first. First, I'm going to talk about low-level rune words and where to get the bases for those. For example, 2-socketed armors that you'll want to make a stealth rune word in, Tal Eth, a really low-level classic rune word for casters. 2-socketed armor, you could buy it from Farah in Act 2. That's where I like to buy it. You could buy it from Charcy in Act 1, but I mean, it's fine either way. I just like the style points of Farah. Be warned though, it has to be in normal difficulty Farah or Charcy, because in Hell or Nightmare, all the armors are blue text. So even if they had sockets, rune words would not work in them. You need to remember that rune wordable items need to be gray text, with sockets gray. So you can buy a 2-socketed body armor from Farah or Charcy, easy. Next is going to be a 2-socketed helm, easy again, buy it from, Farah or Charcy. And then you could also get a 2-socketed shield for Rhyme, Shale Eth. Again, buy it from Farah, Charcy, whoever sells shields. Find a 2-socketed shield. They're not too hard to come by in normal difficulty. You could also put a Rhyme in a bone shield, which is probably more effective, but it's not a big deal. Whatever 2-socketed shield you can find. If you're using a fire-based character, for example, a fire sorceress, a fissure druid, or a fire trap assassin, you're going to want to find a 2-socketed staff for the leaf rune word. You can buy it from Drognin, you could buy it from Akara, maybe even Ormus. As long as it has gray text on it, it can have any number of blue modifiers below it, but the name of the item has to be gray and have 2 sockets. Make a leaf, Tirral, a really cheap rune word to make, and a real staple for any fire-based character early game. Alright, that covers it for the easy stuff. Now I'm going to get more into the items that you can't just buy from the merchants. Once you start needing items with 4 more sockets, you kind of have to put a little more work into it. Or do you? The next set of items you're going to try to make is a Spirit rune word and a 4-socketed sword, and an Insight rune word and a 4-socketed polearm for your Act 2 mercenary. The reason why this is good is for a caster character, the level 15 meditation aura, when equipped, gives you a passive mana regen. So, where do you find the items to put the rune words in? Where do you find the polearm that has sockets or doesn't have sockets? How do you add sockets to it? Well, the most simple way of doing it is to find the white version of, whatever item you're trying to add a rune word to, a white blank item, and use the Larzuk quest to add sockets to it. So in every difficulty, once in normal, once in nightmare, once in hell, you can cash in the reward to the first quest of Act 5. He will add sockets to the item of your choice. And he will always add the maximum number of sockets that that particular item is allowed to have. So you would just come over to Larzuk, hit add sockets, and drag across the item that you want to add the sockets to, and it will add the maximum number that that item can receive. But how do you know what that number is? Well, let's get into the next part. What you're going to do is you're going to do some research. Yep, if you're dedicated to this game, might as well do a little bit of research. It's fun. You're going to Google Arreat Summit. The first link here takes you to a really great resource for looking up, item information, rune words, Horadric cube recipes. The Arreat Summit, it's a resource that a lot of us old school Diablo 2 players used back in the day, and it's still alive and kicking. So let's carry on with the lesson here. I'm going to click on items, and at the top there's links to the items, normal items, exceptional items, and elite items. Those are the tiers of different items as you progress through the game in normal, nightmare, and hell. Let me just click on normal items. It brings you to a nifty, site where you can click on, any base. You can look up any kind of regular kind of style item on this webpage. So let's see. I want to make an insight. Let's see if we can make it early on in our Diablo 2 career in a normal polearm, because we're going to get lower level items in the normal difficulty. These are our options to use from. So what we have listed here are all the different polearms. In the sockets column, it tells you what the maximum number of sockets would be if you use the Larzuk quest. So in this case, the only polearm that we could get white blank and do the Larzuk quest and get 4 sockets is a Volg here. Just a regular old Volg, because this one is 3, and these further on are 5, 5, 6, and 6. So the only normal polearm that we could do the quest with and guarantee 4 sockets is this Volg. So now let's look at exceptional polearms. So these are higher up, more in like the nightmare difficulty you'll find them. Let's say I find a white normal bill. Like when I say normal, I mean blank. A white text bill here, it has the 4 socket maximum there as well. It looks like none of the other ones will work here with that quest. And then furthermore, elite polearms, again, it's just this one particular type, a CV Colossus Volg, that can get 4 sockets. So you would have to get this style of polearm if you were going to do it with the Larzuk quest. Quick public service announcement. If you're trying to make your spirit rune word and you have a blank sword you want to use this Larzuk socket quest in, you have to be a little careful. Let me explain why. So if you look at the Arreat Summit under swords, normal swords, you might think, okay, broadsword 4. So if I do the Larzuk quest on a broadsword, it'll give me 4, right? Well, that kind of depends. I don't want to get too into it. It has to do with, different item levels in different areas. I'm going to simplify it for you right here. By the time you're going to make a spirit, you're probably going to have beaten normal difficulty. So at that time, get the sword in normal cow level, the secret cow level in normal difficulty. Get a crystal sword, a broadsword, or a long sword in the normal difficulty, secret cow level. And then if you use that sword on the Larzuk socket quest, it'll give you 4 sockets. Don't get confused here. I know Crystal Sword says 6, but like I said, like different item levels have different max sockets. This is the maximum socket a Crystal Sword could possibly get, if it was the highest level version of the Crystal Sword. But all you got to know to really simplify it is find a Crystal Sword, a Broadsword, or a Long Sword in the normal cow level blank. You could use that sword with the Larzuk socket quest and get 4 sockets for your spirit sword. You could look up other items. I mean, have at it. Let's see. I wanna socket one of my armors. So let's look at my elite. I know it's an elite armor. It's an Archon plate that I have. So let's click on that here. We have all the elite armors. This is the top tier, bases of armors that you can get in the hell difficulty. So I have an Archon plate. And in this column, it has 4 for the number of sockets. So if I did the Larzuk quest with an Archon plate, I would get 4 sockets. And that's actually what I want for my Archon plate, because I want to make a Fortitude rune word. And let's just, dive into rune words a little bit, just to show you what I want to make. Fortitude, 4-socketed weapons / body armor. I want to make it in a body armor. Here are the 4 runes. So it has 4 sockets. So I want to find a base for my Fortitude. And this is like an endgame GG rune word. So I want to find probably an elite armor with the appropriate number of sockets. If it doesn't have it, make sure I can do the Larzuk quest on it. So I want to make it in a really cool armor elite. So in this case, I'm going to pick the Archon plate. So items, elite items, armors, elites, armors. Just to backtrack a little bit, Archon plate can get 4 sockets. So now I know if I do the Larzuk quest on it, I'm guaranteed 4 sockets. I already looked it up on the Arreat Summit. Most of the armors, by the way, max to 4. So most of them go 4. I want a 4-socketed. That's the maximum that this Archon plate can get. Already looked it up on the Arreat Summit online. So let's do it. Let's get 4-socketed Archon plate for our fort. There we go. And as you can see, it has 4 sockets. This is a really in-demand, armor base to use for a rune word like Fortitude. Now, there's even another way to create sockets in your own items, and that's with a Horadric cube recipe. Now, the reason you would do the Horadric cube recipe is because it gives you a random chance to roll between any number of sockets that are possible for that particular item. So it's not guaranteed to give you the maximum like in the Larzuk quest. So for example, let's say I had a blank Archon plate that I wanted to add sockets to, but I wanted to make an Enigma rune word in it. An Enigma has 3 sockets, and you need to match the number of sockets to the specific rune word. So I need 3. So if I did the Larzuk quest on an Archon plate, I would get 4 sockets like you saw before. But I want a specific number. I want 3 sockets. So this is how you would do it. You would use this Horadric cube recipe. Let's go to the Arreat Summit. You can look up all the Horadric cube recipes too. And the one we're looking for specifically is, let me see, sockets. Let's do my good old Control F. Almost there. So the recipe for the armor is 1 Tal rune, 1 Thul rune, plus a perfect topaz, plus normal body armor. equals a socketed body armor of the same type. And, it will get 1 through 4 sockets randomly. So you kind of have to roll the dice. So you want to get 3 for that Enigma, you just got to roll the dice. And it's different for every type of weapon. For a body armor, the recipe is different for a weapon, for a helm, for a shield. I'm actually going to show you a clip real quick here. I recorded this offline of me using this recipe to socket my phase blade for a grief rune word. I was really excited about this. I rolled perfectly what I needed. So let's check out this next clip. Now I'm going to show you the Horadric cube recipe for adding sockets to a weapon. So in this case, I'm doing it for my phase blade. The recipe is Ral rune, Am rune, perfect amethyst, plus the weapon. I'm going to do this recipe on my phase blade, which can roll anywhere between 1 and 6 sockets. So 6 sockets is the maximum that a phase blade could get. If I put the phase blade in Larzuk, it would just give me 6 sockets, and my grief rune word wouldn't work for it. So in this case, I want to take a risk. I want to use the Horadric cube recipe, see if I can get 5. Let's check it out. I got my runes, my amethysts, my weapon, hit transmute. Let's see what we get. We got 5 sockets. So we got really lucky. That's exactly what I wanted to make my grief rune word phase blade for a melee character. I'm missing a low rune still though. So I need 2 low runes actually. 1 for a fortitude and 1 for a grief.
It be a pleasure.